Hello everyone, and how you all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. Doing all right? So, welcome to the Realist Philosopher live call-in show. I'll open the phone lines up in a second. My voice is so rough because had a cold for the past few days. Been coughing quite a bit, so but I'll be better soon. So, first of all, on a side note, it turns out I was having the show at the wrong time. Woe is me. Yeah, I think back in the U.S. they set the clocks forward an hour. Just so you know that that's not done in every single country. Either that, or I got the wrong time when I punched up Google. I'll be doing that periodically throughout the show too. So if you have a poor gag reflex, well, you're not seeing the phlegm coming up, so you should be okay. All right. So what I like to do during this show, there's a couple articles I'd like to talk about. And, of course, if some of you call in, we'll just talk about one article. It's very amusing, and it just goes to show you that what I've been saying about women all these years is true. You'll know what I mean when I get to the article. So first off, let me open the phone lines. Well, phone line. What am I talking like I'm some kind of big fancy radio station or some shit? It's one phone line. And a Skype, okay? So if you're anywhere in the United States, you can call in. Ostensibly, we can only hope that you have some kind of unlimited minutes within the continental United States. You probably do if you have a cell phone. These companies do compete with each other. So, yeah, it's not like when I was a kid where, it was long distance. It was very strange when I was a kid. I remember it was long distance if you called somebody in the next county, right? I mean, if they were like 10 miles away or something, that was long distance. It's crazy. But now, of course, long distance is, somebody in France and you're in America. So, yeah. Wonderful progress. Real progress. Not the kind of progress that progressives push for, which is actually regress. Or just plain retardedness. All right, lines are open. You'll see my email in the top right-hand corner. Good, no dropped frames. I'm always happy when things go smoothly. It's so rare that it does. Hopefully I've gotten the kinks worked out. So you see my email there. The best way to be on my show is you have a problem, you have an issue, you have something you'd like to discuss with me, get a philosopher's take. I'm very good at breaking down problems, analyzing them, use critical thinking, philosophy to help you understand the issue better. So the best thing you can do is email me with the issue. But, of course, you can call in anytime during the show. Don't expect to call me at any other time because the line's not working. This ain't my home phone number, okay? Like I'm going to give you people my home phone number. Get out of here. And, of course, we have Skype. The Realist Philosopher, just Skype me. That's my Skype name. And if you want to donate, I suggest you listen a little more. I really get going even if I'm sick, so I think you'll enjoy the show. Just be patient. And if you'd like to support my work, and I do need your help, please donate to therealistphilosopher.com. That's therealistphilosopher.com. You could donate as little as $1 a month to the cost of one cigarette. You can afford to support my work for one cigarette, God damn it, or whatever your vice is. A quarter of a candy fucking bar. How much a candy bar cost these days? I guess they don't cost $5 or $6, but anyway, okay, so maybe one candy bar. Come on, you can afford a candy bar. All right. So, I found these very interesting. No, I'm not going to do screen capture, but you don't really need it. I copied and pasted these articles. All right, so listen to this. This is hilarious. Friggin' hilarious. Written by somebody named Mary Wakefield. Mary, and of course it's a woman, right? Seth's calling in. So soon? Okay. Where the hell's the mouse? Wait. Okay. Hello.
Hello, mister.
Hello,
Hello,
Seth.
Mr.
Philosopher.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm fine.
So what can I do for you? What can I do for you, Seth?
I would like to talk about Captain Marvel movie.
How did I know somebody would want to talk about that? Yeah, I heard it sucked. I heard it was bad.
I've seen it for free, of course. Um,
Oh, you don't want to say that. Your internet company might come after you. You don't need to tell us that. But yeah, yeah. So it was bad, right?
it's garbage. Like it's like seeing it's like watching or how do I say that?
Train wreck.
Train wreck. Yeah, garbage. She's only pissing on men. It's like men are garbage for her.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah. Well, you notice she's not a very attractive woman, right?
Yeah, she's kind of ugly.
I don't think she's attractive. People saying she's attractive. Where? What planet? When? I mean, maybe aliens. She fits their ideal of attractiveness because she sure don't fit mine, and she has no ass. They had to have a stunt double ass. They had to have a woman come in who had an ass to do a stand-in because she has no ass. Every time they took a shot of her from behind, they had this woman who actually had a nice ass, who had an ass. But every time so for those of you who don't know, every time you see Captain Marvel from behind, that's not Brie Larson. That's somebody else. Just wanted to point that out.
He cannot squat for shit, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of thought it would be bad. I listened to some reviews and got all the spoilers. Turns out, even the way Nick Fury lost his eye was ridiculous. So stupid. Something about a fucking cat. I keep hearing about this fucking cat. I mean, this ought to tell you right there that this is a fucking feminist movie. That half the fucking movie is about some fucking cat who's probably an alien or something that's transformed into another form. It's probably one of those weird aliens that can look like fucking people. I don't know. But yeah, it scratched his eye, and so he lost his eye. What a pathetic way to... That's just... totally ruined the character. You're always wondering, how did Nick Fury lose his eye? Oh, he got his eye scratched by a cat. A feminist cat.
And I can point to the ending credit scene. She appears out of nowhere in front of the Avengers. And she says, "Where is Fury? Where is Fury?" And she looks pissed off.
Of course. Well, she always looks pissed off, right? She always
like
looks...
She wants to,
yeah, but
she wants to...
Yeah, but she always looks pissed off, doesn't she?
Yeah, she wants you to hit your face. She wants you to hit your face. Right?
But
like a cat.
What I mean is, doesn't she always look angry?
Yeah, because no man wants her ass. That's why.
Yeah, it's called resting bitch face. So for those of you who don't know what resting bitch face is, it's what attractive women do to passively shit test the confidence of men. So if she's puts and basically to scare away the low value, low confidence men, so she puts on this resting bitch face, and the majority of men won't approach her. Boy, I wish I had her problems. I wish I had women's problems, that they have to put on this horrific bitchy face to keep men away from them. Wouldn't it be nice? You're just sitting there, and the biggest problem that you have is women are constantly coming up to you, wanting to engage with you, so they can bang you. Oh, that's such a huge problem. I mean, as a man, can you imagine that being your biggest issue? Is it men are oppressing me because they want to bang me all the time, so I have to put on this evil bitch face to keep them away? It's unbelievable to me. Yeah, you ladies are so fucking oppressed. Your lives are so difficult, right? But she's got the resting bitch face, which I don't understand because she's not attractive, right? I mean, I've seen her without makeup. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Scary.
She looks like a demon. Like a demon.
Oh, more like a man. Good Lord. Maybe she's trans. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe she's Michelle Obama. Changed her skin color. I don't know.
She's a man. Yeah, of
Could
course.
be. Who knows? I mean, Jesus Christ. Maybe Obama got tired of his wife, so she turned white like Michael Jackson. Went and starred in an Avengers movie. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. I know it sucked. I knew it would suck because too much politics, right? And the way she's overcompensating, she's doing all these press conferences. You know, all you evil white... Because, of course, it was white people only that didn't like her prior movie. She made another movie that she won a fucking Oscar for. I forget the name of it, but the critics panned it. They hated it. And she came out saying, that movie wasn't made for you. It was made for women. So don't criticize it, men. And don't come and see my movie and don't criticize it. We don't need white men criticizing my movies. I want women to come to my movie, okay? Because I know they'll take it easy on me. They believe in the sisterhood. They know about the sisterhood. So even if my movie sucks, I know they'll say good things. But you men, well, you'll be reasonable. You'll use logic and critical thinking. You're not going to just be a slave to your emotions and serve me. You might actually say things I don't want to hear. So don't do evil men come see my movie. Yeah, you're so strong and independent that you can't take honest criticism.
I would like to point out that it grossed almost $180 million in just the weekend.
Yeah, that's scary. That's scary, right? But the only reason people saw it was because it's very loosely connected to the Avengers and the next movie, so they don't want to miss anything. So that's all. I mean, the Avengers was a big movie. This Captain Marvel shit is kind of riding the coattails of the Avengers movie because there's some connection between it and the Avengers, and supposedly she's going to be in the next movie, the Avengers movie, and she's going to. No, go ahead.
She's supposed to help defeat Thanos with the help of Captain America, and Captain America is supposed to die.
Really? I didn't hear that.
Yes.
Where did you hear that? I didn't hear that.
It's only rumors. It's not confirmed.
He probably will. He'll probably die. He's a man, right? The men always die.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, now the
he represents America. That's why.
It's symbolic, right?
Yeah, he's an old hero. He's from the 1940s, like Superman and Batman. They represent America. They represent manliness. They represent masculinity.
It's traditional Western values. So that's the death of traditional male values, traditional Western values, traditional masculinity, toxic masculinity. Very interesting how his masculinity is so toxic. He used it to save the world, but now he has to die. How much you want to bet that Captain Marvel doesn't die? Right? She lives.
Oh, she will survive, and she will live for the next 9 movies because she signed a contract.
Yeah, what? Oh God, my God! Yeah, I heard they signed a bunch of contracts, so she'll be in a lot of movies. I don't get that. I mean, wouldn't you wait? Like, she's not a very good actress. I don't think she has no range. Right? She's got the one face. She's got the one personality. She's got the one side of her character, and that's it. It's like every fucking scene. It's the same face. It's the same attitude. Nothing changes.
She probably fucked an Hollywood producer in order to obtain all those contracts. That's why.
Yeah. Maybe she gave Harvey Weinstein a blowjob. I don't know. maybe she's one of them broads that gave Harvey Weinstein a blowjob when he was still getting blowjobs, right?
Well, most Hollywood actresses are whores anyway. So.
That's true. I always found that interesting, didn't you? That these women they complain now to try and get some cachet out of the victimhood narrative, but some of them made hundreds of millions of dollars for that one sexual act. I mean, wow, what are you complaining about? Hell, I would go down on Harvey Weinstein for a $20 million movie deal. Are you kidding? If Harvey pulled it out and said, okay, you suck on this, I'll give you a $20 million movie role. Sign me up, baby.
I think a lot of men will go down on him.
I'm not gay, but fuck, for $20 million, I think everybody's got their price. So don't tell me, ladies, that this was somehow a horrible thing for you. If it hadn't happened, you wouldn't have a career. So shut up, whiny bitches. Well, thank you for letting me know that. I'm debating whether to see it or not. I might watch it just so I can make fun of it in a video.
Well, don't pay for it. That's
no, I would never pay for it. By the way, that Ghostbusters movie, I never saw that. I wouldn't see that even for free. If somebody gave it to me on CD, here, the best high definition Blu-ray you'll get. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not interested.
You can give it to a cat lady. It will be a good present.
Horrible movie. I knew it would suck. I just knew it would be bad. And I'm glad to hear that from you. I'm not surprised, though, it made all that money. But I guarantee you the next one, of course, the Avengers movie will make a ton, but not because of her. But if she's in any other movies that are not connected to the sequel for the Avengers, I guarantee you it bombs. I guaranteed bomb.
Yeah. And I think this week it will drop like maybe by
Oh yeah,
half.
that's what
the
I'm
revenue.
thinking. That was exactly what I was thinking. Like second week is where you know if a movie's gonna be a success. First weekend, yeah, okay, you know they can propagandize the hell out of it, and lots of people who are curious might go see it the first weekend. But once word of mouth spreads about how bad it is, and you know how much movie tickets are these days? Fucking, I talked to one guy. He said he spent $50 going to the movie, just him and his girlfriend. I was like, $50? What the fuck? Did you go to? I says to him, why didn't you go to a matinee? And he said, that was the matinee. Fuck me, what did you do? Oh, we bought the tickets and she wanted fucking Coke. I was like, see, I don't understand this about movies. Why don't you people get a backpack? What the fuck are you buying? The $5 Coca-Cola, the $7 Jujubes, the $15 fucking popcorns. You know what I did when I used to go to the movies? I'd bring a fucking backpack. And everything I wanted, I would put in a fucking backpack and bring it to the movie theater with me. You have to be a sucker to buy those fucking concession stand candies. It's a ripoff.
You can go to hypermarket and buy those things for half the price. That's
Oh,
why
even less than half. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I was just like, why did you buy all that? Why didn't you think ahead and have a backpack? Oh, it's not that fashionable looking, and she didn't want to fill her. She had no room in her purse for the fucking licorice. What is that? Twizzlers? Fuck me. I paid $7 for Twizzlers. I was like, what? $7? Fucking idiot. Yeah, this is what you do for women, guys, okay? You think that, oh, man. Nah, it's going to cost you a fortune if you have a broad. Believe me, don't even bother. Your money is worth more than the broad. Trust me, it'll bring you more happiness and stability in the future. All right, man, thanks a lot for letting me know that. It's good to hear from a reliable source that movie sucked. Not like I was going to go see it anyway, but maybe this will save some of the viewers some of their money. All right, my friend, Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you. Have a nice show, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye, buddy. All right, so that's exactly what I expected. And I was thinking about maybe doing a review, but then I would actually have to watch the movie. I was like, see Brie Larson's bitch face for 2 hours. And it might not even be 2 hours, right? Because you don't get value anymore. How about those movies that are like 78 minutes? It's like a TV show almost. Now, granted, they could be quality over quantity, but they're usually not, right? So usually those 78-minute movies suck. So, yeah. But, I don't know. I'm debating it. Maybe I'll watch it just to do a review somewhere down the line. Oh, God. I'll never, ever watch that female Ghostbusters movie, though. You couldn't pay me enough. Holy shit. All right, so let's get back to this article, shall we? By the way, the phone lines are open if you'd like to call in and talk about something, although you'll probably want to talk about this article once I start reading it. So listen to this broad, Mary Wakefield. Commitment-phobic men are the real reason women are having children later in life. Well, of course, right? You know, because it's always a man's fault. Anything bad that happens to a woman, it reminds me of that scene in the movie As Good As It Gets, where Jack Nicholson is trying to get on the elevator and that ditzy secretary wants to ask him a question. He's like, oh, God, this is a nightmare. And she's just one question, please. You don't know how much your work means to me. And then he turns around. He's like, okay, I'm vaguely interested. What does my work mean to you? And then she says, that somebody understands what it means to be in here. And that's when he says, oh, God, this is a nightmare. And then she asks him, come on, one question. He has no choice because, you know, he's a prisoner there until the elevator comes around, although I would have ran to the fucking stairs at that point. But then she says, how do you write women so well? Write women so well. He's a writer, essentially, in that movie. And if you've never seen this movie, by the way, I suggest you do. It's fucking hilarious. Jack Nicholson does a great job. It's called As Good As It Gets. It's from the 90s. So, yeah, it's an old movie, but good. Not old to me, but some of you out there are in your 20s, so it's old to you. Anyway. Old to me is fucking Katharine Hepburn, so yeah. All right, so anyway. And he replies to how do you write women so well? He says, I think of a man, and then I remove reason and accountability. And then she gets this, like, disappointed look on her face. Puzzlement. That's this woman. This is all women, really. So listen to this. We're becoming a nation of older mothers. Yeah, I wonder why that is. Couldn't possibly be because you're going to university, getting degrees that 70% of the time you don't use in the job that you end up getting. And then you prioritize career over kids. And then you're some 40-year-old broad who froze her fucking eggs, and it turns out, oh, your eggs fucking died or something, or are now, no good. So you got to use the ones that you're popping out now, which are really crappy quality, and you end up having a kid with 2 heads. Or subpar IQ, who's going to be living with you forever because he's got Down syndrome because you wanted to have a kid at 45. So the average age at which a woman has her first child is now 30. A fifth reach 45 without having a baby, and the usual busybodies are in a flap. How is this my problem? Of course it's my problem because, it's men's fault for not tolerating women's crap, right? If we would tolerate women's crap better because they deserve to have their crap tolerated, well, we would stick around. Or we would get involved with them earlier, even though they're total bitches. Yeah. So it's our fault. It's not them for being total bitches and, nagging the shit out of us. Nah. The government, which had anyway decided on compulsory relationship classes. What government is this? Where's this? Thinks the answers lie in more of the same. Are there compulsory relationship classes now in America? Excuse me, because if there are, I would say they're doing a roaringly bad job. Tolerate women's shit, boys. That's the only lesson you need to learn. Ladies, you don't have to cook, clean, or be Wayman. But man, you got to work your asses off and die 7 years before her. And leave her everything when you do. Wow, that's some class. You could put that in a pamphlet, which they probably did. All right. So she goes on to say, if we only explained to 11-year-olds how hard it is to conceive at 40, you could do that. I don't think it would matter because feminists tell little girls and young women that, having kids is the most mundane, boring task in the world, and it's oppressive and enslaves you to a man. So the creep towards geriatric motherhood can be reversed. Geriatric. I don't know that 40 is geriatric, but anyway, maybe if this was 1910. Expect your daughter to bring home fertility awareness posters designed. What? Okay. In PSHE. I don't know what that means. This is a weird story. So the busybodies aren't wrong to worry. The first set about trying for a family just as youth was crumbling into middle age, and it was a very boring business. The 3 years of blood tests, referrals, Harley Street, and endless uncapping of Mont Blanc pens and popping of pills, but in the end, my son, oh boy, we got another single mother here with a son. I'm a mess. I'm a mess with this fucking cold. So she had a son. Wait. This is interesting. So you're an old bitch who had a kid, and you're running around telling other young bitches to have kids earlier? Of course, because, do as I say, not what I do. I see. She goes on to say, I'm all for sparing future generations this sort of expensive angst. Well, what is it with you women looking for angst? You're always looking to be angst about something, ain't you? Ain't you? You always want something to be pissed off about, right? Then you can moan and groan because, you think you'll get something for free, right? Angst. Well, what do you get to have angst about? You get the easiest, most privileged lives in the world, but you have angst. Like a little teenager. Give me a break. Yeah, but the more I look about, the more I'm sure the government has it quite wrong about the causes of late motherhood. Yeah, because she's really, really self-aware, right? This woman who had a kid at 40 was telling other women, that's the wrong way to go. Girls aren't clueless about biology. Really? Are these the same people who run around chanting that there's no such thing as biological sex? Okay. The very same study by the Fertility Education Initiative that set off the fuss also reported that most young people, 9 out of 10 of them, are already well aware that it's trickier to conceive over 30. Yeah, trickier but not impossible, right? I don't think they know the actual odds or the decreasing quality of their eggs. With the men, not so much. The sperm doesn't get really crappy until you're much older, and the decline in quality is much less than that for the eggs. But anyway, nor do I buy the usual millennial complaint that they don't earn enough to support a family. You don't buy that? That's one of the main reasons a lot of white people ain't having families, by the way, is because it's so fucking expensive. They both have to work. Yeah, who's going to stay home with the kid? And then the guy doesn't make enough. You know, even in his 30s, he is not making enough yet to be able to support a family. Thanks to women entering the workforce. Hey, I love this. I love this. It's all men's fault. Yeah. Ladies, you created this world, but you're saying it's men's fault. So let me get this straight. You went out. You insisted on becoming everything men were, and now you're like 53% of the American workforce, so there's more women working than men. You insisted on doing that. But now it's somehow our fault. Do you ladies understand, and of course they don't understand this, that when you entered the workforce en masse, you cut wages in half because you doubled the amount of workers, and when you double the amount of workers, you cut in half the wages because wages to a very large extent are based on scarcity, supply and demand. Less workers means higher wages. More workers means less wages because they're often to compete with each other, and the bosses at the top who, you know, do the books. Well, you know, we got a lot more people who want jobs. Yeah, we don't have to pay them as much, right? It's pretty obvious to me. So you're complaining about the situation you created, and you're complaining that within that situation, which again is your creation, that men are not doing what needs to be done in this world you created to give women kids earlier. Wait, what? I thought her body, her choice. What is this? Yeah, she could just go buy sperm? I don't understand this. She could go to any sperm bank and get sperm and have a kid. What are you complaining about? Oh, that's right. Sperm doesn't pay child support. Oh, I see. So you really can't do it on your own, can you, ladies? Oh. I love this shit. What a dopey broad. What a dopey broad. That's going to happen a lot. All this talking is loosening up the phlegm. All right. So she goes on to say, let me see, I got to mark my point here from now on in the reading. Yeah, she doesn't buy they can't afford to have a family, but that's generally true. That FEI study found that most women, whatever their income, are keen to have kids before they turn 30. Yeah. But that's not the reason they're not having kids. They're saying they can't afford it, you idiot. But of course, it's not women saying that. It's men saying that, you pinhead, because they can't. Either they get married and the bitch divorces them, or they never get married and she just wants child support out of his ass. Booty call! I thought I was wearing a condom. I was wearing a condom. Oh, my condom had a hole in it. How did my condom get a hole in it? Maybe she popped a hole in it because she found out you made good coin and wanted you to pay child support, okay? Yeah, goddamn those men for not banging enough of these post-war broads. By the way, a lot of these broads were getting banged in their 20s. Well, maybe not a lot. A lot of broads today are so hideous, so ugly, which is why they push this body positivity bullshit to try and socially re-engineer men to accept fat chicks. Never going to happen. It's not a social construct, you dummies. We really don't like fat women. All right, so I hate to kick men when they're down. Oh, honey, come on. We know that ain't true. You're a woman. Ducked beneath the parapet for fear of angry feminists, but I suspect the real problem here isn't ignorant girls, but unwilling boys. So we should be willing. What about my body, my choice? Wait. I'm confused here. When it comes to your own choices and things that you want to be able to do to make yourselves freer and make your lives better, that's okay. White people are dying off. White population is dropping. We're below replacement rates. Let's not blame women because their body, their choice. Let's just abort 40 million white babies. Yeah, no problem. Let's not castigate women, right? It's a problem, but, we won't castigate them, right? Because they're just choosing what to do with their bodies. But for some reason, a man, we've got to whip him with a cat of nine tails if he chooses to do what he wants with his own body, which this merely reinforces the truth that we all know. Women see men as disposable tools. We're disposable to them. We're utilitarian, nothing else. This is perfect proof of that. This bitch talk about lacking in self-awareness. Yeah, my body, my choice, but his body, my choice too. Oh, but feminism is all about equality. It's not about superiority. No. She goes on to say, I have several female friends in their early 20s who wanted a baby for a while. Go have one. Go. You're not a man. How many men out there would wish that they could just snap their finger and have a kid and not have to deal with some crazy bitch? You've got that situation, honey. You're a woman. The courts are on your side. You'll just accuse the guy of being some kind of sexual predator who attacked you and raped you or something, and you get to keep the baby, and he can never see the baby. And because you have no conscience at all and can't empathize with a man, there you go. You already have that. You've got utopia. What are we complaining about? You don't need a man to have a baby. I mean, not like, being in his life. Go to a sperm donor. But you see, you need his money. You need to steal his money at the point of a gun, you see. So you have to know who the guy is. This reminds me of a story as an aside. There were two lesbian broads, had a kid. They found out who the sperm donor was, and they got him to pay child support. They took him to court. So, gentlemen, if you've got some quality genes and you're thinking about spunking into a cup to make some extra money, don't do it. If they find you, you have to pay child support. The only reason they're not able to make you to pay child support are strict privacy laws that stop them from being able to get your information from the donation clinic where they get the sperm. But if they can find it out some other way, legally you're on the line. So do not give it away. Don't sell it. Don't toss your condom in the woman's little fucking waste bin because she'll get it later on and squeeze out your juice. And 9 months later, here's the check, Daddy. So, yeah. So she goes on to say the trouble for them hasn't been the cost of childcare or a demanding career. The trouble's been finding a man who's even halfway keen to settle down. What does that mean, settle down? Can somebody tell me what that means? I don't know what that means. I have to settle. I'm perfectly settled. I'm perfectly happy with the bills I pay, the money, everything. My life is settled. I'm fine. What is this idea? I love this idea that I have to be with a woman to be settled. Yeah, give me a break. I don't know if I want to read any more of this. All right. She goes on talking like a man. Oh, my pal's looking for Mr. Right. That's your first mistake, honey. You have some ideal in your head of what Mr. Right should be like. Meanwhile, you don't know anything about yourself. Your level of self-awareness is extremely low. I love how these women think they're going to find Mr. Right, but they don't know themselves. I have no self-awareness, but I want to find a man who's perfect for me. Well, wouldn't you have to have matching virtues, and you don't know anything about your own virtues? You don't even know if you have virtues, but you want to find a man that fits perfectly with you, but you don't even know what makes you you, so how could you pick a Mr. Right who would be Mr. Right because he fits with you and your virtues and you don't know anything about those? Yeah, that level of abstract thought is way beyond most women. All right, so let's continue here. Oh, my pals looking for Mr. Right report identical patterns of behavior. That's because your friends are like you, honey. We tend to be friends with people who are like us. Dating is now all online. If you're a blob, if you're an ugly older broad like you who waited until she was 40 to have a kid, then yeah, you can only go online because ain't no guys going to bars that want a broad like you unless you're a cougar. Unless you're some broad who's going to the gym a lot, she just divorced some guy, she's looking for the next sucker, 45, 50-year-old broad. Some of them can actually be decent looking. And just looking for some tail to validate herself because she's insecure now about how she looks. Unless you're one of those broads, no guy wants you. So yeah, you got to go online because you're a dog. So they scroll through endless profiles and eventually make contact with a promising guy. I don't know what that means. Cue weeks of pointless texting followed eventually by an actual date. And let me guess, he didn't meet your high standards. The standards of a 40-year-old broad who's frozen her eggs. Yeah. Because you have so much to offer. Even though the currency that you offer to a man is your looks and your fertility, and you have neither, but somehow he's supposed to be high quality. Okay. All right. The evening goes off well. There might be a snog. You've read too many Harry Potter books, honey. No, Americans don't talk like this, although maybe she's from Britain. I don't know, but who uses snog? Yeah, all these batshit, feminist cat ladies, they've read all those Harry Potter books. Have you noticed that? I guess it's because they're very immature and childish, so those books are the perfect level for them. More texting and another date arranged, and after that, nothing. Yeah, imagine that. Did you ever stop to ask why? Oh, no, they're just players. They didn't get any poons, so they didn't come back. Well, you ain't got much to offer, honey. So if you're making a guy come around a few times, and if you're breaking the 3-date rule, if you're going out with him 3 times and not having sex with them, what do you expect? Yeah, I am going to go against the grain and deny all objective reality, and then when it comes back to bite me in the ass, I'm just going to blame the man and not reality. Okay. All right, sure, you can do that. So the promising man who's caught wind of a woman with family plans... Geez, he found out the broad wants to have a kid but not necessarily get married, so he's afraid of being sperm jacked, or maybe having to be a daddy and pay child support, but not to a wife, but just some angry broad living 2 counties down who's going to be in his life forever. Yeah, sounds like an awful lot of baggage to sign up for. So she goes on to say, these men submerge back into the internet to scroll through the options again. Why commit when Kate Moss might be beckoning? This is some projection right here. I think you're speaking your own thoughts, honey. Why would you commit? If Brad Pitt might be beckoning from behind the next screen. Of course, she doesn't talk about women and their unrealistic expectations. Men have far more realistic expectations than women. That has been proven scientifically. It's so much easier to imagine someone's perfect when you haven't yet met them. Yeah, men don't get as tied up in their imaginings and their feelings as you women do. All right, yes, just more. This is some more sad sack storytelling. She's talking about when she was young. Oh man, 1830s. Here we go. Okay, this might be amusing. A decade ago, when I was single, I was often kindly set up by my married friends. Yeah, because you were considered a good catch for a man at that time. You still had some sexual marketplace value. Among the men on offer was a very particular type of feckless Lothario, left over from the half generation ahead, who'd run through the girls in their peer group and were starting on the next lot down. She sounds very jaded, doesn't she? She sounds very jaded and bitter and angry, and not to mention cynical, and her view of men is far from stellar. So, all these negative qualities that are going to come across to a man, because they're pretty good at picking up on these things, especially if it's an older guy in his mid to late 30s who's seen a lot, dated a lot, and he's going to pick up on this negativity and still want to stick around. Yeah, I wonder why these guys are disappearing and you're forced to be a single mommy. She goes on to say they were handsome in a worn way. Yeah, I'm sure you're beautiful in a not worn way, right? Even though women age like milk and men age like fine wine. Okay, honey. Yeah, more projection. They were trainers with suits, played guitar, and a wise girl steered well clear, which you were not. I love this. She's, of course, not the wise girl. She didn't steer well clear. She didn't steer well clear. She got damaged, embittered by dating all the bad boys who were bad for her, but oh, so pretty in a worn way. Yeah, you're a bitter broad. And come on, they were pretty boys, honey. And now she's wondering, where have the good men gone? It's their fault, not mine. Yeah. Go say hello to your cat and your kid that'll never have a father. Your kid that still eats with his hands at age 4 and needs your help to wash his face, and he can't brush his teeth alone. He's going to be a genius. Genius, I say. Oh, fucking hilarious. So she goes on to say, these were men who'd been teenage golden boys with their pick of chicks. What is this? She's an ugly broad, right? She's an ugly broad who's bitter and angry toward people who are attractive. I wonder why you can't find a man. So you're bitter and you're ugly, but you look at the world as if you were hot. Entitled, ugly, fat, feminist broad who's been used and abused by a few pretty boys, because there might have been a time where she was halfway decent looking, pump and dump essentially, because the good men wanted nothing to do with her because she had no virtues. No virtues. I see nothing but lack of virtue here. Angry, bitter, an inability to accept responsibility, total lack of grace. But somehow, she's a great catch. You should be happy to get me. What virtues do you have? 0! And even if I had them, I wouldn't know, because I have no self-awareness. Okay. Yeah. All right. Here we go. I'm going to end this here. That's enough. That's enough. So it's our fault, gentlemen. It's our fault that old, embittered, nasty feminists with cats who are single moms, because no man wanted them, the reason that we didn't want her wasn't her fault. There wasn't anything wrong with her. Her tires weren't falling off. She wasn't a car driving around without a fucking hood, missing the windshield, and she wants 10 grand for that piece of shit. Oh no! It's your fault for not wanting that broken down piece of crap, not hers. It's amazing. Amazing to me, the lack of reflection some of these broads have. Can't you look in a mirror, honey, and see what your problems are? Can't you do some reflection and ask yourself these very obvious questions? What do I bring to the table? What do I have to offer men? What about me might a man find attractive who's no longer looking for meaningless booty calls? Yeah, the fucking Jeopardy music's going through her head all this time, because otherwise there's nothing there. Oh, my God. All right. Oh, Jesus. Excuse me. All right, so have you ever had an experience like this? You ever met a woman who had very unrealistic expectations? You ever been out on a date with a broad who essentially had this kind of entitlement attitude? Like, hey, yeah, I have no teeth, and I'm fat. What is it with you not being interested in me? Or did you ever go out with some broad who was not as hot as she thought she was, but she had a big attitude, like really huge ego. Like you're going out with a 5, but you think she's a 10, and she treats you like crap. It's like, you're an ugly broad. What are you acting so entitled for, right? Like I'm going to put up with that? Even if you were a 10, I wouldn't put up with that, but I might be more inclined to if you were, but you're an ugly, disgusting pig. Why would I put up with that from you? You ever met women that are this unrealistic in both their expectations and how they act, how they present themselves, and essentially what they expect you to put up with? If so, please call in. I'd love to hear your date story. Please give me a call at 623-242-2517. That's 623-242-2517. Or Skype me at The Realist Philosopher. That's The Realist Philosopher. That's my Skype name. And also, if you're too shy, too bashful to be live on my show. Oh, my goodness. Excuse me. Coffee. A bit of late gas here. So if you're too bashful to be on live, send me an email and tell me your dating story. Tell me about a broad that you went out with who was a 5 or a 6 but acted like she was a 9 or a 10. I just love these stories, and I'm sure the audience would love to hear them too and my analysis of them. So, all right, let's move on. The next story I wanted to read was actually, I think, funnier. But I like to save the best for last. Listen to this. This is fucking great. And these are both kind of in the same vein, which is why I want to talk about them together. Because it's all about unrealistic expectations on the part of women mixed with their total lack of self-awareness. Listen to this. So, why did Bangalore's secret blind dating event fail? So Bangalore, not the most progressive country technologically. This blind dating event was kind of a new thing there. So, in America, these things happen all the time, right? But this was a first for Bangalore. It was a failure. Imagine that. Listen to this. It's great, by the way. There must be so many thirsty guys in Bangalore. A secret blind dating event organized by a group in Bangalore failed big time with the organizers who backed off at the last moment. This is going to be good. This event, organized by a meetup group that claimed it was the first time such an event was organized in Bangalore, had all the rules right. I don't know. Wait until you hear these rules, by the way. This is total bullshit. It charged 50% more to males over females for attending the event. I love it! Hi, I'd like to come to your dating event. You must pay 50% more than the women because they're oppressed. Okay. Bunch of pussies. Who would do that? I love it. The men always have to pay more, but somehow we're oppressing the women. That's great. That's great. Yeah. So the men had to pay 50% more just to attend, and the rules were simple. Each guy was paid. Oh, listen to this. This is great. Each guy was promised he would meet 3 females of his choice, and each woman was promised to meet 5 guys. You're paying 50% more than the women, and you're seeing about half as many women. What? So it's like 100% better for the woman than it is for the man. She's paying less and getting twice as much. That's great. That's fucking great. Yeah, pay 50% less, get twice as much as the man, and still continue complaining about being oppressed somehow. There's a wage gap. Yeah, okay. You mean an earnings gap? Of course, you're so dumb you don't know the difference, right? So, yeah, I don't understand why this is, by the way. Why was the guy only promised that he would meet 3 females while the women were promised 5? I guess this is kind of like the ladies' night thing, you know, where women get free drinks, right? But the men have to pay for all their drinks. Because the real reason guys would go to these bars is because there's women there. If there's no women, why would they go? And so the bar makes no money at all. So, of course, the women get free drinks. By the way, it's crap liquor, right? It's crap booze. The booze that the broads get, these free drinks, it's like $2 gin, liter of gin for $2. I mean, it's just some rot gut shit. Might make you go blind, ladies, but hey, it's free. I might need a fucking dog to lead me around the rest of my life, but I don't care. Free drinks. Yeah. Risk blindness because it's free. Yeah. And women will do that, by and large. They did that back during the Prohibition, man. Lots of people went blind from that rot gut gin. All right. Bathtub gin. Yeah, the names of the organizers and venue details were to be revealed at the last moment. It was also promised that the identities of the participants would be kept confidential to all others until they find their date. Ooh. The event was well planned. Yeah, so you say. Rules set correctly, following good standards. I don't know what that means. I'm not familiar with these kind of events, so I don't know. It is also, I've never been to one of these kind of things. Are you kidding? The women are always hideous. They're always hideous. Hideous blobs that expect the men to be a fucking Brad Pitt. It also set the right expectations from the beginning. You'll find out that wasn't true. However, the organizers had to pull out of the event at the last moment despite overwhelming response for this highly charged event. Excuse me. Went too long between nose blows reading that last story. Oy vey. Yes, why did they pull out? Well, the final mail from organizers to all its secret participants said something like this. Guys, we're sorry to pull out of this event, and we promise that we'll never try to organize something like this ever again. The reason is not registration for the event, but the get this, unnecessarily high expectations of the ladies attending the program. This is fucking great. Woo! We believed that such events are a good way to mingle with like-minded singles in your area and find potential mates. You believed wrong. However, ladies have been sending me emails stating the kinds of guys they want to meet and what kind of guys they don't want to meet. They are specifying the minimum salary expectation. Oh boy. Size of the house, car, etc., which we find, get this, impossible to meet. That's fucking great. Because, you know, ladies who are desperate enough to meet a man that they'll go to this kind of meat market dating event don't have unrealistic expectations, and they're not so lacking in self-awareness that they realize that this is why they're single. Oh, no! So they impose those same unrealistic expectations on the organizers of this dating event, thinking that they're perfectly reasonable expectations, but it has nothing to do with why I'm single. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Love it. This is fucking great. Yeah, you ladies. So unrealistic expectations. We're calling off the event as we don't find it to be successful. Essentially, the women, everything they wanted was too much. Too tall. They wanted guys that were too tall. They wanted guys that made too much money. They wanted guys that had multiple houses, drove Lamborghinis. Why am I single? I'm old and post-wall, but I deserve a Brad Pitt in his late 20s. Yeah, I can't imagine why you don't have a man. So the male was a clear signal to the harmful effects of feminism that is set to ruin our relationship expectations. I've been telling you all for years. Feminism is nothing more than an evil death cult set to destroy whatever culture, country, civilization it is introduced into. It's like a pathogen, and there's no immunity. Virtually no immunity, right? If you're going to go a man, you're going to be a man, you go your own way. That might be a solution. But, of course, there's enough men that are being blue-pilled and cucked. You know, they're going to bash you over the head with a fucking bike lock if you don't want to go out with some broad. Lovely. Yeah, if these people get in charge, they'll kill all of guys like myself and some of you out there. So, yeah there might be an immunity to the direct effects of feminism, meaning you can avoid these bitches, but the ideologues will come up later and mop you up and throw you in a mass grave. So this is great. This continues by saying, with no entry barrier for girls in marriages, essentially no expectation, essentially all a woman needs is to be attractive, even mildly, and that's the only entry barrier required. That's the only barrier. Decent looking, not a blob. And huge entry barriers created for the guys to enter into a relationship. Well, marriage as an institution of sustaining the progeny is sure to fail. Yeah, that's the whole point of feminism. I don't understand why people don't get this. Have you seen some of the pictures of the first feminists? I'm not talking about the ones from the French Revolution. Of course, there were no cameras back then. You might get some portraits and all, and they were some fatties, uglies, of course. Well, not fatties, because all those broads were, too skinny. No food, right? But if you take a look at the pictures of some of the earliest pictures of your suffragettes, they were all ugly broads. They were all spinsters. They'd be lucky to have a cat. Cat wouldn't even put up with them. Yeah, they were just a bunch of angry, bitter broads that wanted every other woman to be as angry and bitter and miserable as they were. All right, so what is worrisome is the overwhelming participation of males in such events despite high entry barriers to both the event, right, because it costs 50% more, and they were seeing essentially half as many women as the women were seeing men, so the deck was stacked primarily in the favor of the Wayman. And that still wasn't enough to make the Wayman happy. And low expectations for their own potential mates. Right, the men's expectations were very, very low. Meanwhile, the men were willing to accept subpar women, insofar as what a man will accept in regards to sexual marketplace currency. But the Wayman, what they will accept from a man in terms of sexual marketplace currency was way up here. The man was willing to accept way down here. As this event was organized for Bangalore's niche social segment, I presume the attendees were educated and working in good companies, with all of them having the good financial background. Not enough. Not enough. Yeah, because these were single ladies, older single ladies, desperate single ladies. So, of course, they all have extremely high standards. The women that actually got married and found a man, they had more realistic expectations and standards. Yeah. You're actually expecting these women to be realistic and what they would expect to get out of a man? Get out of here. So, what worries me more is none of these women are bound to take care of their families, with very easy beneficial exits from marriage and heavy alimony and maintenance claims. Yeah, even in Bangalore. Feminism's everywhere. Despite their working status, this should set off alarm bells for men. She goes on to say, say, I'm going to blame Indian men for this situation. Yeah, feminism is huge in India, by the way. Huge, as are cucked men. They're everywhere. India is full of pussy men. If a man even dares to say that men need their rights protected, other fellow men are going to laugh at him. It's a country of balls, men who have had their balls cut off, huh? They're all cucked. They're all wimps. So sad. I blame Indian men for this. They're responsible for creating such a situation for themselves. In a rage of showing more care and protection for the females around them, Indian males have created such high expectations that they're making it impossible for them to find potential mates today. The situation is not different for these females either. The online matrimonial portals are filled with profiles of good-looking, never-married working females in their late 30s. I love it. Who didn't find anyone to marry, and only after coming to late 30s they realized they're in danger of never finding anyone. Now, after becoming plump, fat, and with facial wrinkles, they realize that they may not find anyone to marry at all, so they go to a dating event, and they still have these ridiculous expectations. Many such women in their late 30s who contacted me for marriage have confessed to their high demands in their early 30s, and they always expected better grooms who were nowhere to be found. This man making his six-figure salary isn't good enough for me. It's low six figures. I want high six figures. 100,000 isn't enough. I need 500. But you're 50 pounds overweight. You're 40 years old, and you have wrinkles. Yeah, doesn't register. Of course, nobody ever told these women that, because they're nasty, evil, feminist bitches, and if you say anything to them that they don't like, they'll bite your fucking head off. Failure of the blind dating event in Bangalore only tells everyone that unnecessarily raising gender to a very high status creates a vacuum in the society that will not be filled easily. Won't be filled at all. Because the majority of women are like this, with these unrealistic expectations, but they'll only settle for the top 20% of men. What are you going to fill the other 80% of the vacuum with? Nothing substantial. The laws of economics tell you that the other 80% of men, or the bottom 80% below that top 20, they're not going to become the top 20. Then you, come on. Yeah, I mean, let's get red-pilled here, right, and deal with reality. Yeah. Well, of course, telling that to a woman, good luck with that, right? They don't like dealing with reality very much. So it goes on to say, such highly established ladies will never marry unemployed males, but men, of course, are expected to take on women who are unemployed if they're good looking. Yeah, it's as men we're doing in large numbers so far, right? With dowry being illegal and alimony being legal and considered as a right for women, and with no contribution, monetary or otherwise, being set for women, marriages as an institution is set to fail. Yeah, you people in India need to wake up. I've read some stories. I remember I read one story where some guy killed himself because a woman accused him of sexual assault, and it was a false claim. But everybody automatically believed her. It was later proven false. I don't think that she was ever charged with a crime. From what I understand, feminism in India is actually worse than it is in America. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but this story... So you women need to wake up. Anybody out there would like to call in and tell me about a woman they met who had ridiculously high expectations? Now is the time. So if you look on the screen, you will see the number, 623-242-2517. That's in the United States. You can call on your cell phone. If you have a decent plan, you have free minutes in the continental U.S., or you can use Skype and contact the Realist Philosopher. If you'd like to donate, support my content, please go to therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That's therealistphilosopher.com/donate. Also, you should subscribe to my SoundCloud because I'm going to be posting all this material there along with my old podcast, which has 54 episodes so far. So just to listen to that old content, which is really good content, it's totally free. You'll find that link in the description as well. And follow me on Gab, Twitter, Facebook. I'm very active on Facebook and Twitter, so that's a good way to interact with me. And also, send me an email. All right, if you'd like to be on the show, or you'd like me to talk about a story you have or an issue you'd like me to address, Send me an email at admin@therealistphilosopher.com. That's admin@therealistphilosopher.com. I've met some women like these, by the way. And they don't learn. It's very interesting. It's like, as you get older, you get wiser. If you learn from your mistakes. It's madness to keep doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different outcome. And these bras at this dating event, that's a perfect example. They're mad. Feminism makes women mad women because they keep doing the same thing again and again and again because they can't think for themselves, because feminism is a powerful ideology. Much like religion, it makes you turn off your mind. The ideology does your thinking for you. You find your answers within the ideology, not within your own mind, not within your own critical abilities. So, yeah, they just keep making the same mistakes again and again and again. And they'll never find anyone because of that. And that's the whole point of feminism, to make relationships untenable, at least in the West, and to destroy Western culture, because the family is the foundation of Western civilization. If you tear that apart, you make the country that much easier to destabilize and destroy, which is the whole point. Makes it a hell of a lot easier to pillage it and eventually destroy it. Wake up, gentlemen. Red pill yourselves. Start thinking for yourselves. Do away with this bullshit ideology of feminism and all this postmodernist, fucking Marxist, cultural Marxist bullshit. So it doesn't look like anybody's going to call in, so I am going to bow out on that note. Hope you enjoyed the show. And again, if you did, please consider donating to my channel. And also you can check out my website. A lot of useful links there. The realistphilosopher.com, therealistphilosopher.com. And of course, the best page is the /donate one, obviously. So that's it. That's it. I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.